Yo, how's it going, everybody? It's Macklin Gaming. So I woke up yesterday, checked my phone, and the Witcher YouTube channel released a new video. And it said the 10-year anniversary of The Witcher 3 was yesterday. And they released this nice video, like a cinematic video, you know, of gameplay of Geralt and good dialogue from the game, and just an awesome, like, trailer as if it were like a long movie trailer or something. And I just could not believe that this game is 10 years old. I remember anticipating this game for years. You know, I played Witcher 2. This goes back to like after playing Skyrim, which blew my mind, right? I was like, I needed another RPG to play. So I was looking around. People said The Witcher 2 is a great one to play. So I picked that up in like 2012 and I played it. And then the next year after that was the E3 2013 Witcher 3 reveal, like a demo trailer, not gameplay, but you know, like a cinematic, like what we saw for GTA recently, GTA 6. So when I saw that 2013 Witcher 3 trailer, I was like blown away. There's like a griffin, you know, and Geralt's older and he has this beard and all this badass stuff was happening. I was like so psyched for The Witcher 3 to come out. So it ended up coming out 2 years later, 2015. And man, it's already been 10 years, a decade since that game has gone by. Some would call that retro, but hell no, I'm not calling Witcher 3 retro. Let's slow down. I still just think of retro as being like 2D pixel graphics. But that is my background on how I got to play The Witcher 3. And I want to talk about the actual game itself in case you haven't played it, or if you just want to reminisce with me. Let's talk about one of the greatest RPGs of all time. So I went looking for my Witcher 3 physical, which I found right on the shelf, but I forgot about how much stuff is in this case. Like this is the glory days of physical collecting, because look what you get. You get the disc. This is a map. I'm not gonna open the whole map up, but you get this map, you get the manual, game manual, just like in the old days, like even in 2015, you're still getting game manuals. Look at that, it explains the whole like HUD, heads up display, all the information you need on the screen when you're playing. A compendium, so not only a manual, but then you get like this cool little lore book. There's some art in here. I think it's like CGI art. The best of the best, Geralt of Rivia, it says at the top. Raised and trained at the mountain keep of Kaer Morhen, the seat of the Wolf School of Witchers, Geralt of Rivia is one of the last and most experienced practitioners of the Witcher's trade. And so on. And then, that's not it. Stickers. I put those like on my laptop. A soundtrack, copy of the soundtrack. Like there's a CD in here. So you get the sound, which is an amazing soundtrack. And then a letter from CD Projekt Red. Oh man, this is kind of like hurts my feelings to read because it's so nice and wholesome, and people ripped on them like years after this for, you know, Cyberpunk. So first of all, we would like to thank you for your support. We really appreciate that you have decided to spend your hard-earned money on our game and hope we will have a fun time playing it. That's so wholesome. From CDPR. Over 200 of us have spent the last 3 years working on The Witcher 3, they say. So like, think about that. One of the best games ever. 3 years to develop. And that was in the early 2010s. But now here we are. It's going to take like 8 years for the next Witcher. Just the way that game developing goes. So insane. It's kind of tragic. But I'm just putting back together this fat physical copy of The Witcher 3. Love it. So for those of you that don't know what it's about, The Witcher is about this class of people that are taken as children. They're made to drink this alchemical concoction, which like changes and mutates their like nervous system and stuff. So they get vertical slit pupils like a cat. And so they get these enhanced powers, like to be able to use magic out of their hands. Like not everyone can do this, you know, and to be able to like drink more potions. Like that initial potion, the initiation one, is like painful, and then they can drink like other potions to enhance their attributes, like for battle and stuff. So that's what you do in the game. You know, you're about to fight like a big demon, So you gotta drink a potion to make your magic stronger, or to make your attack power stronger, your stamina like everlasting, you know? So The Witcher is a really badass group of people, but they're like frowned upon in the world that they live in this like dark medieval world. So you're walking through a village as Geralt of Rivia, and people will like call you names and stuff and be like, oh, Witcher, like you smell bad, you know, because you're always out hunting monsters in the woods and stuff. So they're always commenting. Like the NPCs were great in 2015 for The Witcher 3, like ahead of maybe every other game, where they would just wake up in the morning and go through their daily routine. You could watch them. Then they would like go to the inn in the evening and then go to bed. Like each NPC had its own thing to do. They weren't just standing around doing nothing, you know? So the game had a really lively and lived in feel to it. It was beautiful for its time, the graphics, you know, and another way this game stood out amongst the rest was the side quests, like how good the quality of the side quests were. They were, you know, just as good as the main quest. It's that kind of thing like Bethesda back in the day, I think, had that too, and hopefully still will in the future. But you could go do any side quest and it's got great writing, great story, great acting, and you're like, oh man, I would like the first one they showed that I really was captivated by was that little godling, I think they call him Johnny. Johnny knew the whereabouts of Ciri, so Geralt had to go find his like, you know, daughter. It's not his real daughter, but he like looked after her, this girl, the only one who like can eventually turn into a Witcher, which is not a spoiler. That's from The Witcher 4. We've seen that preview trailer already, but Geralt is like trying to find Ciri throughout this whole game in The Witcher 3. And so this little creature who looks like a boy, he's like helping Geralt find the trail of Ciri and find the lead. So Geralt has to go to this like Griffin's Nest. It's a really good quest. It's not a side quest, it's part of the main quest, but just all the quests, like the main quest isn't bad at all. It's like 60 or 80 hour main quest, it feels like, you know, it's such a long game and I love that about it. You know, I heard CDPR took feedback from the fact that Witcher 3 was so long and they made Cyberpunk's main story too short, in my opinion, right? They made it shorter on purpose because of that. And I'm like, no, come on, let the pendulum swing back. Please make another like 100-hour game coming up with The Witcher 4. But The Witcher 3 is just, it knocks some of these things out of the park, like still to this day. You know, it's got the graphics, you can make it, now it's got updated so you can have ray tracing, and on a PC it can look as good as any game here, you know, 10 years later. You've got the amazing side quests, voice acting is great. So I didn't talk too much about the open world exploration because there are some separated open world maps that you have to like load in and fast travel to, but I don't really mind that. Like once you're there, it's a massive open world. So there's like 3 or 4 different maps with varying sizes, but like the 2 main ones are just like big open world exploration, you know, and it's like kind of similar to what a Ubisoft game would do, which is like put question marks all over the map. And people kind of hate that these days, where it's like, I don't want all this stuff, random stuff to do on my map. It's like cluttering and overwhelming. But for me, I loved it. I loved to just go uncover every question mark. You know, I would just put a little marker down and go like, oh, there's 4 question marks in this little region. I'm going to go knock those out. And you'd find some good loot and battle enemies. You know, you might find some new potion upgrades or like recipes. So there's good loot to be found in all these little side areas and question marks on the map. But I would say I admit like the Fog of War map, where the whole map's fogged out, and then as you explore you start to see little icons on the map. I like that better, but The Witcher didn't do that, but that's fine. You know, I still think it holds up today as one of the best open world exploration games in that regard. I really have no negatives to say about The Witcher 3. This game will always be in my top 10 favorite games of all time. The first video I made on this channel, like long form video like this, were my top 5 open world games of all time, and The Witcher 3 came right in at number 5. So it's up there, especially for open world RPGs, but for all-time favorite games, there's only a few games that can top it for me. So if you have not played The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, I highly recommend you check it out. You can play it on, PS4, 5, Xbox, PC. You can even play it on the Switch. So go check out that janky port. But no, it's like an impossible port. They did a good job. It's just they had to massacre the game. I would highly recommend you play it on good graphics. So like a PS5 or a PC. But that's going to be it for me in The Witcher 3. It's been fun talking about one of my favorite games and really just thinking about the flow of time and how long it's been since The Witcher 3 came out. And I can remember where I was playing it, like where I lived at the time, all that good stuff. So it's nostalgia, baby. I can't believe I'm saying that about this game. At this rate, I'm going to have to make a Fallout 4 video like this because that game came out the same year. I remember that was a stacked year back in the day. So we'll see, but today we celebrate The Witcher 3 and CD Projekt Red, who, survived the turmoil of Cyberpunk 2077. And I think I'm going to look forward to their next few games coming out. Witcher 4, Witcher 1 remake, and then Cyberpunk 2. So let's hope they do a good job in the future. So if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, and hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.